Odale, odale. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. Now, this vignette aired last night with El Grande Americano. Sounds like a coffee you'd get in Starbucks, right? An Americano. But it's caused a bit of controversy. Triple H has been labelled a racist. A lot of speculation's gone out into Triple H whether he's a racist, whether he's a he's a communist, he's a far right neo-Nazi. People have lost the plot on social media, right? All parts of the spectrum. See Triple H, he's just the worst booker in the history of wrestling. That's what he is. Nothing more, nothing less. I couldn't care if he's a Trump supporter. I couldn't care if he was a Kamala Harris supporter. Alright? Because not the fact of the matter is this, he's awful. You know, you look at the likes of, you look at wrestling, right? Batista, Mick Foley, Liberal. You got Undertaker, Kane, Republicans, right? Just because they vote a certain way doesn't, in my opinion, take away from their accomplishments in the history of wrestling, right? Val Venus is a Republican, right? And here on this channel, we're not going to shy away from it, even though we're in the Britain, United Kingdom. We prefer Donald Trump 120 million% over Kamala Harris, Biden, Obama, Hillary Clinton, etc. The left. But I'm not going to sit here and lie and turn around and say that Batista and Mick Foley are worse than Val Venus. They're not. I mean, I really liked Val Venus in the Attitude Era. Really liked him. It is Chief Morley. But the reality is, he's not quite Batista or Mick Foley, is he? And just because of their political preference doesn't mean people automatically suck these days. You know what I mean? And I think people have got to differentiate between that. And to see if Triple H is lefty or if he's a righty, it doesn't really matter to me. Because the fact of the matter, what matters to me is the wrestling. And it's absolutely awful. Now, the fact that he's called it the Gulf of America, does this hint at the fact that he supports Trump? I don't know, man. You look at Linda McMahon. She is a part of, Trump's team in some capacity. You've got Kane, who's obviously a, Republican mayor. Vince McMahon is obviously a Trumper. I would say Triple H is a closeted Trumper, right? He's just never going to come out and admit it because he's a card and he knows that like 80% of wrestling fans are left wing. They're probably more like, if we're being honest. But this whole Gulf of America thing, to me, it's actually one of the few things I think they've done decent. It's cheap heat because obviously it's caused a bit of controversy when, McMahon, when Trump wants to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Personally, it's not my beef. I couldn't give a shit what it could be called. I mean, if Trump wants to call it Gulf of America rather than Gulf of Mexico and he wants to do that, then he can go ahead and do that. But I can see I can see why people don't want it to be renamed at the end of the day because these are like historic, landmarks, rivers in the world that you wouldn't like getting changed. You know what I mean? Like, over here in Britain, United Kingdom, Europe, there is like iconic bodies of water and things like that I wouldn't really like the name of getting changed to. But who really cares? I think Triple H just did this as a way to get a bit of cheap heat on El Americano. And people are calling it racist. That like, where is the racism? Racism just gets flung out there, right? Like nobody's business. You know what I mean? It's such like a watered down term in 2025, and it actually, firing it out at everybody who you disagree with just waters it down, and it's pathetic, man. It's a pathetic state of affairs. But for this, it was still the worst episode of Raw ever, in my opinion. Last night doesn't really matter if it's the Gulf of Mexico or the Gulf of America. It's the Gulf of shite in WWE, and tell you what. April 21st, that's when WrestleMania ends in the UK. It will end like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. I'm done, folks. And I mean it. I'm done. I'm done watching professional wrestling. I give up. I do. Obviously, it's a joint channel. He's more than half. He's more. I mean, if he wants to refute, he can go ahead and refute. The only way I'm going to come back is if the money on this channel seriously disintegrates, and I need to do it. You know what I mean? But it would be in a limited capacity. Because see, watching that Raw last night, I'm fucking disgusted. And Yeah, and I'm actually glad to see across Twitter and YouTube there's a lot of people that think like us. You see, a couple of years ago, I mean, people defended it, and there's still people defending it right now. But I feel like a lot of people eyes are getting awoken here, and it's like it's getting worse every week, every passing day, every passing minute, second, you name it, it gets worse. Anyway, I don't think Triple H. Um, I don't even know. I don't care who he votes for, but this has obviously caused a bit of drama. I mean, if you want to call Triple H a racist, right? I think there's other evidence that might point towards that rather than this, but we'll leave that for another day. Till next time, peace.